Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad or Mad Mickey's World. I'm called both because I am Mad Mickey at the end of the day. So welcome to Monday's edition of the DC Daily Diablo. Is it Diablo? Yeah, Diablo Lives in David Ayer's version of the Suicide Squad, because today, for the next 24 hours, is Release the Ayer Cut Day, a very, very big day. I must say I'm very happy to hear David Ayer say in his version of the film, Diablo Lives, because Jay Hernandez, who played the character, did such a fabulous and fine job. And even when I was re-watching it the other day, I was thinking, this really, really does sting. I understand he's making a sacrifice, but if Diablo does live in David's version, there's no reason for David Ayer to say if it isn't true. It is true. But the point is, who made these decisions? Who made the decision to kill Diablo off? It's obvious that it was Jeff Johns. Basically, Jeff Johns must have taken over the reshoots, or someone did, right? Basically, who directed the theatrical cut? Because it clearly wasn't David Ayer. You could even say that they did to David Ayer what they did to Zack Snyder, unofficially, without us knowing, because they couldn't make any crap about a family issue for him to leave, so they didn't tell us he left. They booed him off the project, and then they basically reshot elements of the movie. Disgusting, but that's the old DCEU. That's the old Warner Brothers. This is AT&T. AT&T respect creative, artistic integrity. And today, we have the full backing of this company, of Warner Media, of AT&T and HBO Max, to really go hell for leather, hashtagging Release the Ayer Cut. We've got to make this count. This is really, really important. On a paranoid note, I think the timing's interesting on RT Snyder Cut, taking a break. They obviously knew today was coming. They obviously knew Monday was coming. We all knew Monday was coming, but they knew today was going to be a special day. And they decided to leave, take a break, and not support Release the Ayer Cut. It's like there's this thing where, we got what we wanted. We got the Snyder Cut. We don't care. Why wouldn't you care? It's the same thing. It's the same franchise. It was set up by Zack Snyder. It's part of his vision. What don't you get? Why wouldn't you want to support this? There is some crazy kind of affiliation with this fandom at times. And I don't want to kind of rot in this negative sandpit. But I'm truly disappointed that RT Snyder Cut are not going to be around today. Basically, right, this is how it works. Now, in the old days with RT Snyder Cut, when we did these events, we'd have to wait till America woke up. For me, it'll be 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in Cyprus. But today, it looks like we're all tweeting and hashtagging already. I've done a couple already, and I will do it throughout the day with gifts as much time as I've got. But I'm definitely involved. I want to see this movie, and I'm so passionate about us seeing this movie before we see Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think that's very, very important. And David Ayer has posted a brand new picture of the Joker. And here it is. Brilliant. Brilliant. Now, I spoke about Jared Leto's Joker the other day. I said that he is a bit like Marmite. You either like him or hate him. But you shouldn't hate him. He's just different. He's just a different live-action Joker. Read some New 52. He's a gangster. He's different. He's less insane and more of an organised mobster gangster. This guy knows exactly what he's doing. This is a thinking man's live-action Joker. And he's so good. And by the way, how excited were you when you realised Batman was going to be in Suicide Squad? When we saw this trailer and we saw him on top of the Joker's and Harley's car, that was amazing. I thought, wow, the connectivity in this film. And who knows what else we would have seen in David Ayer's version. Now, there's certain things like Steppenwolf that are not in there. Now, can they be put in there? These are things we've been discussing before. We really don't know if this is a case of David Ayer having a ready-to-go cut, or some things being able to be added? Would it be a case of Zack Snyder saying, you know, I'm doing this and that with my Justice League, with my 4-hour cut, and I want you to add this, that, and the other in, which I'm sure David would be interested in. We could really get part of Zack's scary idea in David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Now, James Gunn was asked by a fan, will you be hashtagging release the Ayer cut on Monday? And he said, I already said that I'll back anything that David and Warner Brothers decide. But that's not answering the question, James. Will you hashtag it? No, you're not going to hashtag it. This is the problem. James Gunn may be a really good director and writer, but at the end of the day, he doesn't really respect fans' wishes, what the fans want, what the consumer wants. He's already been caught talking about, fan expectancy, fans getting too much of what they want and things like that. And the thing is, we are the consumer. If we get what we want right. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do what you want with your movie. But in terms of Zack Snyder's Justice League, in terms of David Ayer's Suicide Squad, those directors' vision wasn't implanted. It was what the studio wanted. So no one got what they wanted. The artist, the integrity of the artist, or the fans. And now, I still kind of have James Mangold's kind of tweet echoing in my ears when he said, I'm sure Zack Snyder wants to move on. Weeks later, we found out that Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to broadcast and stream on HBO Max. It's insane, isn't it? But today's about positivity. Today's about hashtagging release the Ayer cut. And I hope that everyone gets involved, because if you're just a Zack Snyder fan, Zack Snyder wants you to back release the Ayer cut. It is extremely important for the whole vision. This multiverse strategy that Jim Lee and Walter Hamada have implemented is for this very, very thing. They want to create something for everyone. They want Snyder's vision to be implemented over at HBO Max. They want to have different visions for different characters. And it's going to be awesome. The Batman is happening. Hopefully we can convince Ben Affleck to return as Batfleck. We're definitely going to see scenes of him that we haven't seen in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and hopefully a season 2 of that. And 3, so Ben definitely contracted for that, but he's not. I don't know if he's contracted for that for his version of the Batman still. I don't know how that works. Look, I'm not in Ben Affleck's head. I don't know what he wants to do. There's still strong rumours that he will do a kind of limited the Batman series over on HBO Max, but these are just rumours. We don't know. And also, we don't know what's going to be announced at DC Fandom. Ben Affleck hasn't been announced for that event. Henry Cavill hasn't been announced for that event. Either it's because they're not involved, or because we have a big surprise coming. I don't know what's going to happen at that event, and I think that's what's exciting. Anything could be announced. So I think if you are excited about the fandom and you will be kind of on your device watching it throughout the day, I would say don't miss a second. And there's certain things you probably can miss. There's certain things where they'll be talking about existing movies we've already seen. So you can eat your food, you can go to the toilet during those moments. I would like to catch all of it. It sounds incredibly, terribly exciting. But, of course, the big announcements we have to be there for. Look, August the 22nd is a massive day for Warner Brothers, Warner Media, AT&T, and HBO Max, because this is going to be the evidence that they're really harnessing the DC IP into something it's never been in live action before, and creating this multiverse strategy. Because I don't think we could have carried on with just Snyder's vision. And I know that's a controversial thing to say, because, I love Snyder's DCEU. I've started re-binging the DCEU movies. Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad. Yesterday, I saw Wonder Woman. We're going to be talking about Wonder Woman, and especially Steve Trevor. I've got a lot to say about that film. One of my favourite comic book movies of all time. Such a special film. And it's part of this unique DCEU franchise. And so, if you're on the Twitter today or Instagram or any of the social media platforms, please hashtag release the Ayer cut. Please, please, please. It's so important. Everyone is going to get what they want. with Jim Lee's and Walter Hamada's multiverse strategy. So help the other side out. If you're not part of our DCEU family, it's fine. If you don't like those movies, it's fine. In fact, comment down below and tell me why you don't like those movies. I won't allow anyone to attack you. One thing I must say, all opinions are welcome in a constructive fashion. I don't want no swearing, no bullying, but you have every right not to like Zack Snyder and not to like the DCEU. Just because I like him and I like what he did, it doesn't mean you have to, as long as you're constructive. And Snyder fans, DCEU fans, if you see someone down in my comments who's constructive about his criticism or her criticism, please don't attack them. We need a place on YouTube where people can air their constructive views without being attacked. So please, if you could respect my wishes on that. So yes, release the haircut day, really important. Let's make that happen. Right, Wonder Woman. I want to talk about the Wonder Woman movie. I was watching this yesterday, and because my day is broken up with writing scripts, having kind of meetings via Skype and things like that, and I'm the predominant carer for my disabled father as well, so I can't watch a film straight through. So I watch a bit after lunch, and then I stay up till 2 in the morning watching it. Then I go clubbing. Yeah. So nuts, right? I'm really tired. But anyway, so I finished watching Wonder Woman, and I was thinking a lot of things about this film. First of all, I think it's amazing. It's not just one of the best films in the DCEU, not just one of the best DC films ever made. It's one of the best comic book movies ever made, even throwing the MCU into it. And I think that Captain Marvel simply didn't learn any lessons from Wonder Woman. One of the best moments of this film is the introduction of Steve's friends. He brings them on board because he needs help, right, in his mission with Diana. But these are not people, these are not, specially trained Green Berets. Charlie, for example, he used to be a marksman, but he's lost his mojo. He can't do it anymore. And I'm going to tear up talking about this. There's that moment when he kind of looks at, Steve and the other guys, and Diana says, look, what's the point of me tagging along? I'm just going to hold you back. And then Diana says this, and this is so emotional to me. I have to say this because it just means so much. But Charlie, who's going to sing to us? This is what I'm talking about. Diana meets these men, and originally she doesn't think too much of them. You've got the short Italian guy, I forgot his name, right? He's giving her all the charm. He's being a bit, he's being a male of that era. And Diana's not really responding to that. She doesn't like it. She looks like she wants to smack this guy in. But then she looks deep and she realises this guy doesn't know any better. And actually, this is a guy who wanted to be an actor. He didn't want to fight in wars. She realises, beyond the bluster, this is a really nice guy. And then she meets Charlie, and she's really interested in Charlie because she knows that Charlie isn't like her. She's always wanted to fight. She's always wanted to get involved. But Charlie has lost it. He's scared. And she empathises with that. He has a nightmare. But Charlie doesn't see Diana like other men do, so he doesn't find her attractive or anything like that. And she tries to wake him up after a bad dream. He goes, get off me, woman, because he's really, rough and ready, right? And I really like Charlie and his story. So Steve Trevor loves these guys, but he knows they're not really qualified to help him, but they're his friends. They're all he's got. And he will stick by them no matter what. And Diana sees this, and she sits here with these men, and she tries to talk to them, and she tries to help them emotionally. And this is what the people who made Captain Marvel didn't understand. We saw that toxic male, being all toxic to Captain Marvel, right? And trying to make the point. Now, don't get me wrong. Patty Jenkins does make some points about toxic masculinity. We get Steve Trevor saying, I'm above average, typical guy thing, macho guy thing. But as we go on in the movie, we find out a bit more about Steve Trevor, that this guy actually is a good guy. He's a hero. And some of the aspects of his character, as he's a victim of his time. But he's a nice guy, and he does treat Diana with respect. And he's very grateful for being rescued by her. And there's no male pride there. When she deflects the bullets, he goes, well, go on then, don't let me stop you. He doesn't want to die at the end of the day when she runs off in the no man's land thing. And at first he tries to stop her, but then he realizes she's making a difference. And I must say the No Man's Land sequence is one of the most amazing, beautiful things I've ever seen in a comic book movie. And when you look at the credits, when you look at the credits, you look that Zack Snyder was one of the people that broke this story. Zack Snyder was so heavily involved in the first Wonder Woman movie. Now, we know he's a producer in Wonder Woman 84, but it's interesting to think about this, seeing that I have seen a test screening, a 90-minute one, how much he was involved, if in anything, because that film was made and, plotted and written after the fallout after Justice League. So you would imagine, I don't know how much he's involved. Definitely he would have always had to have a producer credit anyway. And Cruel and Unusual Films were part of the production company who made the first Wonder Woman film. It's a great screenplay by Alan Heinberg. It really, really is. It's a great movie. So it'll be interesting what the outer world think of Wonder Woman 84. I liked what I saw, and we'll see what happens with that. I'm excited for everyone to see that movie. And that takes me to Steve Trevor. Steve Trevor's always been a very interesting character within the pages of DC because he's been part of the Suicide Squad, he's been part of the Justice League, he's travelled through the multiverse, he's really been a bigger character than you might imagine. This is not just Diana's, aka Wonder Woman's, a bit of eye candy. This is a guy, this is a hero, this is a soldier. So, as we know, he's in Wonder Woman 84. And as we all know, we all saw the first Wonder Woman. From what we saw, it looked like he exploded in the aeroplane, that he sacrificed himself. Now, a lot of people are concerned about his return because it kind of says, well, what does that mean about the sacrifice that he made? Now, Patty has told us that, and I know this, that nothing that happens in Wonder Woman 84 kind of takes away from his sacrifice. So you'll have to make of that what you will. Also, I think this is an element of the film I don't know, but this is just a guess after what Grace Randolph said about a year and a half ago about this kind of flashpoint situation in Wonder Woman 84. Listen, bringing back Steve Trevor, and I'm not going to tell you how it's done, but that will change the timeline. It's obvious. So Steve Trevor has a massive future in this DC multiverse strategy. So because he comes back to life, how does that happen? What does that mean for his future? Does it mean he's immortal? These are kind of things I don't know. But if it means he can live beyond the cycle, a life cycle of normal people, maybe he can now live as long as Diana. These are questions I can't answer, by the way, for one reason and the other. So it will make sense that Steve Trevor has an interesting future in DC live action. Now, this is very, very interesting. Now, in Justice League, he's still dead. He's still dead. Now, that's interesting. Now, will he still be dead in Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? Now, from what I saw from the 90 minutes test screening, you don't really know. You don't see a definitive ending there. So, I can't tell you that either. And even if I could, I wouldn't. I don't want to spoil it for you. And, you sign things up with test screeners as well. And anyway, I don't want to spoil stuff. But the point is, we now don't know if, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, if Chris Trevor... Is it Chris Trevor? Steve Trevor. Have I been saying Chris Trevor all this time? Chris Pine, Steve Trevor. Get it right. Yeah, I don't do the touching, but I can do that to myself. But, so... in Zack Snyder's Justice League, it will be very, very interesting because we know he's messing around with that film now. We know that changes are being made and he's finishing the movie and he's making the film he always wanted to. So just like Diablo isn't dead in David Ayer's Suicide Squad, could it be a fact? Could it be true that Steve Trevor, in fact, is still alive when we get to Zack Snyder's Justice League? And what are we going to see first, Zack Snyder's Justice League or Wonder Woman 1984? That's interesting and very exciting as well. But what I will predict to all of you right now is that Steve Trevor has got a big, big future. And he is my prediction is one of the core reasons, because the reasons why the timeline changes. And for that, I think that's important. Look, Chris Pine is a wonderful actor. He's a great New Age Captain Kirk. He's really good. It's great that they brought him in. He's got a great relationship with Patty Jenkins. He's done other projects with her since the first Wonder Woman. She was always going to bring him back in Wonder Woman 84. They'd already discussed it while they were shooting the first Wonder Woman. And so my respect for Patty Jenkins and her work on the first Wonder Woman goes beyond anything. I think it's an amazing film, and I think it's going to stand the test of time. And I think Gal Gadot is an amazing Wonder Woman. And I'm excited to see the real Wonder Woman in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But I'm also excited to see this big future of Steve Trevor within the DCEU and through the multiverse platform that Walter Hamada and Jim Lee are constructing. What do you think about all of this? Comment down below. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DC Daily. See you again soon.